What's good, Ravens Space family? Thank you so much for joining me today. We're going to do a reaction to Undisputed, talking about the big game coming up. I've been traveling for work, so I couldn't do reactions, but I'm back. So hopefully I can do this more consistently, but we'll see. Let's jump right on into the video.
The Bills are a 3-point favorite as they head to Baltimore to play the Ravens on Sunday. Both teams 2-1. This matchup will have two of the MVP favorites at quarterback, Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. Shannon, going forward, would you rather have Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson?
So I want to pause it real quick, guys. I don't know if you guys see the stat at the bottom. Lamar's accounting for 85% of the Ravens' total yards this season. I mean, wow, that's just amazing. And I think last year it was not 85%, but it was something very similar, probably like a 70%. So again, just Lamar's is just a different class of how much the Ravens depend on him for offensive production versus other quarterbacks in the league. But you know,
it's close. But I'm gonna say Allen because I believe his body is gonna hold up over the long haul. I think he'd be less impacted if he were to suffer an injury to his legs. He moves around a lot more than people think. If they look at him, he's 6'5", 6'5.5", 250 plus pounds. But he's more athletic than you think, and he runs more than you think.
He does.
But I just believe that his body.
And again, you know, we all know that Allen's a big boy, so he does, you know, have that body. But again, Lamar's not small, and I think because Lamar's so shifty, we think he's a smaller guy than he is. And he's put muscle on, right? He was always lean, but he's put muscle on, and he doesn't take hits like Josh Allen does. Josh Allen does take bigger hits than Lamar, if you guys actually watch the games. But again, I know that they don't watch every single game.
Can hold up and withstand a lot more of the punishment than, say, Lamar. Lamar has improved dramatically from his rookie year to where he is now at throwing the football. So has Josh Allen. So for me, it's close. I'm gonna say 51-49%. With me, I would lean towards taking Josh. Lamar is a tremendous runner. Allen is not the type of runner, but I'm gonna give Allen a slight edge at throwing the football. Lamar is 64% completion. Allen is 71% completion percentage. Lamar leads the league in touchdown passes. But I'm gonna say Josh Allen. I think Josh has won 2 playoff games. Lamar has won 1, but they're very close. They're a lot closer than you think. But I would say Josh, because I just believe that he'll be able to hold up a little longer and a little better than Lamar over the long haul.
And so again, he would rather have Josh Allen, but that's based on preference, and I guess that's what the question is. But remember that Josh Allen was a different quarterback before Stephon Diggs. That is just the 100% truth, that Josh Allen was not a top-tier quarterback before Diggs came. Lamar was an MVP before he had any type of receiver that you could consider, you know, a top 5. Now, again, Mark Andrews is great. Mark Andrews is really good. In my opinion, right now, he's the #1 tight end in the league. Shout out to Marky Andrews, you know, Money Mark, you know, Mandrews. But he's just not the receiving threat that Stephon Diggs is, because Stephon Diggs is a traditional receiver, while Mark Andrews is a tight end. So I do think that we have to take that into account as well. Also, we do know the last couple of years, the Bills have had a good offensive line, and haven't had the injuries that the Ravens had. And again, Lamar Jackson is pulling his team to victory. So you got to take that into consideration as well.
But it's close. But if you told me, Shannon, you can't have Josh, you got to take Lamar, I wouldn't be disappointed.
Okay. So you're a little bit on the fence.
Yeah, 51-49 Josh right now.
I'm not mad at that.
Give me Lamar Jackson.
Okay.
Oh, wait a minute now.
Something missing.
Am I about to agree with Skip Bayless? Listen, let's see.
In the makeup of Josh Allen, I've told you this from the start, and we're starting to see a growing history of failing to finish close games, as we saw at Miami. I thought he came up pretty small in the end of that game. They should have won it. They dominated the stats. They didn't win it. He's obviously a huge talent. I did not see him coming. I watched really just the first half of one game he played at Wyoming against Iowa.
Right.
And I didn't like what I saw because he was completely, utterly overmatched.
Mm-hmm.
And to the Bills' credit, once they started to work him out, once they see him at the combine, once they watched film of him against inferior opponents, they said, give us Josh Allen. Seems like a good kid, seems stable, seems like a good face of the franchise. But when push comes to shove, when the game's on the line, when it's time to ball, Lamar Jackson is a flat-out baller to me. I love his football backbone.
Well,
I just love what he's made of.
now, again, this is hard to actually put into context because, there's no scale for this, right? Completion percentage is a scale that you can look at. There's no one in the league that has a level of balling as Lamar Jackson. When it comes to being a gamer, right, and that's a phrase you'll hear often, who's a gamer, right? Tom Brady's a gamer. Tom Brady is a gamer, but Tom Brady's not as, physically talented as Lamar, and he's not in his prime anymore. Lamar's a gamer. Lamar's a quarterback that you really do feel that you always have a chance with, even if you're down 30 points. You feel like Lamar can bring you back. And in a lot of cases, we've seen him bring us back in crazy circumstances. So Lamar's a gamer, and you always feel like you have a chance with him because he's the only player in the league that can run an 80-yard touchdown and throw an 80-yard touchdown. And that's just what the truth of the matter is.
I like the way he operates under fire in the clutch when he knows it's his game to win. He's going to go get it. However he has to get it, arm or legs, he's going to go get it.
Right.
And I admire him greatly because he wasn't the greatest thrower of the football at Louisville.
No.
And now he's a really good thrower, like really good.
Yeah.
And getting better.
You can tell he's worked
hard on it. He's just worked hard. He's at 64%. And by the way, QBR, I'm sorry, Pro Football rating, Focus rating, they have graded him so far number 1 overall. Mm-hmm. But Josh Allen is 5th. So it's a fight because Lamar is 2nd in QBR. Josh Allen is 3rd in QBR. 2 is still 1st at this moment. But the point is, I look at what Josh has to throw to. Stephon Diggs is really good.
Right.
And they really connect.
Right.
They have huge rapport on option routes and any check with me.
And Gabe Davis. But Skip, I give Baltimore credit. They went out and drafted a receiver in the first round, Rashad Bateman. He's played really well. Duvernay is.
So, again, I like Rashad. I like Duvernay a lot. They're not Stephon Diggs. And we're not going to even go there because it's true. And then also remember that the system that Josh Allen plays in is a pass-first system versus Lamar's in a rush-first system. And so, again, if you look at the concepts, if you look at the film, the concepts that Josh Allen is running are more complicated. Not because Lamar can't run it, it's because the offensive coordinator has complicated run systems and not complicated passing systems.
Made unbelievable plays, and he has the old reliable Mark Andrews.
Okay.
The guy that no matter what the situation is,
okay, I got it.
Mark's out there somewhere.
So here are the numbers on those guys you just brought up. Pro Football Focus right now grades and overall just the wide receivers. Stephon Diggs is number 2 overall. Duvernay is tied for 24th, and Bateman is 43rd. Mm-hmm. But I'm just talking about wide receivers. But balancing this out, Mark Andrews is ranked number 1 among tight ends, graded number 1 overall, and number 1 of all receivers is Mark Andrews.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've got, we're talking about a
I didn't know that. Shout out to Mark Andrews. I didn't know that.
Security blanket because he is a Shannon Sharpe-esque. He is a pass-catching tight end.
Yes.
It's hard for me to even call him a tight end. I don't know what he is, but he runs routes down the field like a wide receiver.
Yes.
And he gets open, and there is huge connection between Lamar.
Huge trust factor between.
But the only issue is that because he's a tight end, there are limitations to the type of routes that he can effectively run, right? a perfect example of this is we don't see Mark Andrews line up outside the numbers, right? Mark Andrews isn't running comebacks to get first downs, right? He's running crossers. Again, he might run sit routes and things like that, but he's not one-on-one with the team's best corner getting dubs. That's just not what's happening. He's not burning cornerbacks down the field one-on-one like Diggs did to Jalen Ramsey, right? So again, Mark Andrews does great at what he is and what he does. There's no one better. I'm not trying to say that. But what I am saying is that there's a difference between a tight end and a receiver, right? I would say the same thing about a running back. It doesn't matter how good of a receiving running back you are. Your receiving value is not the same as a receiver is. So, because again, you're not running this whole route tree. Again, you're not allowing your quarterback to have the entire field to throw to, right? Which a receiver does. So again, Mark Andrews, I love him, but it's just not the same because of the different positions they play.
Huge between those two. So he's got that operating. But to your first point about Josh Allen, he's already carried the football 19 times for 113 yards. And to my eye, he runs far more recklessly and dangerously than Lamar does.
Right. So guys, I don't watch this before. Literally, Skip is saying every single thing I'm saying. This is kind of crazy.
Every time I watch him, even against Miami, he didn't run that much, but every time he took off, I'd say, what are you thinking? Because I don't care how big and strong you are, you're not going to last doing that.
You're not going to be taking those direct shots.
Right? Because he likes to try to run through the proverbial brick wall. Linebackers, safeties.
Or that hurdler. He's going to have to stay out there too, Skip. You know he loves to jump over guys.
Okay. And he's a big, strong, athletic kid. But he plays like a kid because he's going to have to figure that out. But I don't think Lamar's body is in any more jeopardy than Josh Allen's body is over time. That's why you can't tell me, I'll take Josh because he'll stay healthier. I don't know about that.
But here's the thing. We've seen Lamar over the last couple of years miss games. We haven't seen that from Josh.
Incredibly durable.
And
we've seen, sorry, if I remember correctly, we've seen Lamar miss significant time last year because of his ankle injury, which he was in the pocket throwing the ball. And then the second time he missed time was because of COVID. If I remember correctly, let me know in the comments if I'm wrong, but I don't think that's true, Shannon Sharpe, and I got to call you out. I don't think that's true.
And the thing is that Lamar, I think he said he's gained weight, so he's 220, 225?
He looks good to me.
Yeah,
by the way, he's carrying it just fine.
Right. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. But the thing that a couple of years ago, Skip, this probably would not even been a discussion, is that the fact that you can see the progression and the improvement that Lamar has made throwing the football.
Well, he did win the MVP.
Yes.
Unanimously.
Yes. And so these guys came out in the same draft, and we saw Lamar comes in, Flacco gets hurt, Lamar comes in, they go to the playoff. He struggles.
He did.
He struggled against the Chargers.
Did he?
And then the next year he comes back and he wins the MVP. And then they lose to I think Tennessee. And then they come back the next year and they beat Tennessee in the playoffs. So you can see that he's improved. It's close, Skip. It is really, really close. Like I said, I'm not going to be disappointed if I had either one of these guys.
Okay.
And so I'm going to wrap it up here, guys. But one thing I do want to say that I hate that argument about this kind of stuff about how you do in your first couple of years, only because we are holding quarterbacks now to a crazy standard, the Patrick Mahomes standard, basically, where you're supposed to win Super Bowls on your rookie deal. Again, if the only two I can remember who have done that are Patrick Mahomes and Russell Wilson. And when Russell Wilson did it, he wasn't even the best. He was like the 30th best player on his team. Not the 30th, but he definitely wasn't better than Marshawn Lynch. I believe they had a couple of linemen that were really good as well. So he wasn't the best player on offense. And we know for sure he wasn't the best player on defense with Richard Sherman and Earl Thomas and that crew. So again, only Patrick Mahomes was able to do that. Again, other greats like Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Brett Favre, even though I don't want to say Brett Favre because of course what's happening. But all these different people didn't win Super Bowls that early as the main cog. So that's just what it is. Thank you guys so much for watching. Subscribe. Go Ravens.